Hey, what's today's date, anyways?
It's
March
March 3rd.
3rd.
Third, yeah.
Well, yes,
Yep,
he has
March
one.
3rd.
And I don't have any prepared questions or I have a lot of thoughts in my head as I was painting the portrait. And then we came over before. Kevin Hunt is here. He's off camera, but we came over before and you gave me some amazing statistics, such as I think you said you had 11 medals
Yeah.
from various battles in the Pacific, I think, which, you know, being a kid from the 60s, I didn't know much about that. So I spent a fair amount of time. The one thing I did know was that my father-in-law, God rest his soul, loved him. He was in the Battle of Guadalcanal, and he was in the Americal Division. As I understand it, the Marines went in first. The Americal Division went in right after them, almost in some ways to rescue the Marines because they were getting slaughtered. And he didn't talk about it too much. But he did come down with malaria and was sent home after that, which is probably one reason why he survived the war. You know. But you were in the Guadalcanal too, weren't you?
No.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I didn't go in the service until 42.
Well, 42
See,
after those first.
See, when the war broke out, they couldn't draft 18, 19 years old.
Right.
It was 20 years old to 36.
Right.
And then in the summer of 42, they needed more men because they were on two fronts.
Right.
So they passed a law that they could draft 18, 19s.
Right.
And I came home one day, and in my plate was you are classified 1A. And I said, Ma, I'll see you. I'm going up and joining the Navy.
No kidding.
I said, I don't want no part of the Army. I didn't want to sleep.
Blame you.
I didn't want to sleep in the foxhole. I said, Ma, if I'm going to go, I just won't drown.
I'll blame you.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So I went in the service in 42.
That was still early, though.
That
right?
was in December 42. I went to the Great Lakes boot camp.
Yeah.
I was up there till, January, February. And I graduated in March, first part of March.
Okay.
They didn't assign me any group at the time.
Right.
They said, go home. When you come back, we'll have an assignment for you.
They sent you home.
So I went home on leave.
Yeah.
And I came back, and they say, you're going in the Armed Guard. I says, what the hell's the Armed Guard?
Yeah.
That was on the Merchant Marine ship.
Okay.
There were Navy gun crew.
Okay.
There was 24 of us assigned. When we trained 7 in a group.
Yeah.
Then they took 2 groups. And we see the bad feature back in them days, they were building the Merchant Marine ships so damn fast, they couldn't arm them right.
Yeah.
See, all we had was a 3-inch 50 on there. A sub could surface and blow us out of the water because they had a 4-inch 50 or a 5-inch on their deck.
Right.
So we had no convoy.
Oh, my God.
We went through the Panama Canal.
Right.
And we kept headed on. And all we did was zigzag across the South Pacific.
You must have felt like a sitting duck.
And the speed we had was 10 knots.
Was that a Liberty ship?
Yeah, a Liberty ship.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, they were building the damn thing so fast.
Oh, yeah.
We picked up this new Liberty ship in Savannah, Georgia.
Right.
And we loaded ammunition on there good part of the night. And, but because I was only 18 years old, it really didn't sink in my mind that
Probably a good
what
thing.
was going on.
Well, the Japanese at that point, that was their extent of their influence, right? All the way from Alaska all the way down to Guadalcanal,
Yeah.
whatever.
I had 2 friends from Guadalcanal.
You did?
Owen Justin.
Uh-huh.
He when he got out of the service, he was made the postmaster here in Amesbury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I had a fellow. Well, he didn't graduate from high school with me, but his name was Sonny Pierce. He was in Guadalcanal, and he got that malaria real bad.
Oh, he got malaria too.
Yeah, he came. They both got got home.
Yeah, like I
But
said,
I wasn't even in the service then.
right. They probably didn't have any vaccines or
No,
anything,
no.
like that. You just
No,
went in.
No.
It was jungle fighting.
Yeah.
And the people on the ships didn't get the malaria as much as the people
No.
in the jungles.
Right.
No.
From what I know about malaria, you can get it like multiple times too.
Can you?
Yeah.
Helen's about to be a full-fledged EMT, so she knows.
I only know a little bit about the medical stuff, nothing about any of this stuff though. This is so cool.
Yeah, see, we ended up in Australia, Perth.
Oh, you did?
Fremantle,
Yeah.
on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And, of course, the bad feature about it being on the Merchant Marine ship, there wasn't enough of fresh water.
Oh.
You had to take a shower in salt water. Had to wash your clothes in salt water. And there was nothing more miserable than...
Salty clothes.
Did they have fresh water? Did they
Well, we had fresh water to drink,
the evaporators?
but they didn't have enough to take a shower or wash your clothes.
Right.
A lot of times we tie this pair of dungarees through the crotch, throw it over the side, and drag it in the wake of the ship.
Didn't you tell us when we were here last that there was at some point you wanted to jump over the side? Everyone was jumping over the side of the ship.
Yeah, that was the battleship, New Jersey.
Okay.
See, that's the battleship there.
This one here.
Yeah, they'd shut the.
This looks like a mean ship.
They would shut all the heads down on one side.
Yeah.
Then you could jump off, but it was quite a jump. It took me quite a while to get up enough nerve to
That
jump.
must have been 100+ feet.
Yeah, and the killing part,
20, 25 feet.
and the killing part was climbing back up that rope ladder. Yeah. I was on the battleship for 25 months. When I came back from my trip on the Liberty ship, because there was armed guards stations in Brooklyn, New York, Portland, San Diego, California, and New Orleans. Those were the 3 armed guard stations.
Yeah.
And so in Brooklyn, I got called up to the officer deck and said, "You're being transferred." I said, "Where?" And they said, "Portland, Maine." I said, "Oh boy, that's close to home." But
well, it's hard to imagine, but I mean, they were concerned about an invasion at that point. How did they know, right?
yeah, see, the battleship was on its shakedown. It just came up from the Caribbean, and it was up in Portland, Maine, Casco Bay for its winter shakedown. And we went from there to Boston. I got a 3-day pass in Boston, and then we ended up down to Norfolk and picked up the Iowa, same classification.
Yeah.
The Iowa was the first one built.
Yeah.
New Jersey was the second one. And the Missouri was the third one, and Wisconsin was the fourth one. But during the war, they figured the battleships were obsolete.
Oh, is that right? I can't believe how America just started cranking out ships, right?
Oh, yeah, especially the Liberty ships. Okay.
I mean, because who was it? The Japanese commander that thought he'd knock us out when he hit Pearl Harbor. Yamamoto. Yeah.
There was a real conflict, as Bill's pointing out, in the Navy between battleships and air groups. And the air groups were just starting to show their power. And there was a group that felt that the battleships, and they remembered an old battle called Jutland, which had been fought with English battleships back in World War I. And they were still of the opinion that the battleship reigns.
Right.
Because it was the biggest thing with cannons out on the ocean.
Sure.
And the idea that you could take cannon fire and project it on a plane and bring it to the battle was a whole new concept.
Yeah. But I don't know how many aircraft carried, because we lost how many in Pearl Harbor.
We didn't lose
None at Pearl Harbor.
Just
they weren't in the harbor. They were at sea.
Right.
Thank God they were at sea.
But then the United States built some.
We did build.
Oh, we built them like crazy.
Yeah, we were building a lot of them. The
Yeah.
Essex class started to come out back
Yeah.
then, I think
Yeah.
it was.
The Bunker Hill class. It was.
That was the one I was on. I was on an Essex carrier.
Oh,
you were.
that's right. Essex class. You're right. Right. Yeah, we had 4 carriers in our battle group, and we had the 2 battleships, and I forget how many cruisers, and then we had the destroyers. But the battleships rode in the middle of the convoy,
Okay.
and all the other ships outside, because we had so much firepower. Because we had twin mounts. We had 5 twin mounts on both sides of the ship, 5-inch guns. And then because we had the 40 millimeters all over the ship, and 20 millimeters.
Must have made a hell of a noise.
Yeah.
That's what I said to Billy. He still has good hearing. I mean,
What was your rating? What did you do on the ship?
I was in turret 3 on the 16-inch guns.
You were on the what?
16-inch guns.
16-inch gun?
I was assigned to turret 3. That was one
Turret
on
3.
the fantail.
You were in the turret.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. We could see. There was a glass thing. We could see each turret.
yeah.
When they up come the shell, it was either a shore bombardment was a 26 and the armored piercing was only 14.
Right.
And they'd bring up the shell, they'd ram it, then they'd bring up 6 powder bags. They ram the 6 powder bags in. You see them close the breech. They'd press a button and it would go down to the forward plotting room. That's an officer would fire the guns.
Sounds a little dangerous with
Well,
all
the
that
thing
stuff.
that you have to realize, not only was the New Jersey in World War II, it was in Vietnam. It was used to bombard. The same ship was used to bombard the mainland. And when that 16-inch went in, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but the size of that projectile has been estimated to be the same weight as a small Volkswagen.
Yeah.
2,000 pounds.
Is that right?
And the distance it could fire would be equivalent to, let's say, the battleship were up in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
And firing here. 20
Unbelievable.
miles.
20 miles, yeah.
And so I just have this millimeter mind, like artillery, like the famous 88s that the Germans had. How would it be in size in terms of that?
That's 16 inches.
16.
So it'd make the 88 look
16
pretty
inches
small.
in diameter.
88 millimeter?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay. Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's artillery. That's field artillery.
Right.
That could never get as big as 16 inches because
You
couldn't move it.
Couldn't move it.
A ship could move it.
Sure.
A land thing. They did put, I don't want to deflect, but they did put them on trains. There were 16-inch guns in Germany on trains.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Railroad cannons.
We ran into the islands where you'd see the Japs would have them on a track.
Yeah.
You'd see a flash come out, and then pretty soon you'd see a flash come out here, but they were on a railroad train.
Oh, is that right?
Track, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one day we were down there going to shore bombard, and the Iowa got a little cocky, went on a little closer.
Yeah.
Got hit with a 6-inch shell.
Oh boy.
It didn't do any damage to it.
Yeah.
But we were like little kids. We barreled our butts right out of there and got out of there.
Well, I mean, kamikazes were around at that point too,
Yeah,
right?
but the kamikazes didn't bother us.
Right.
They came at the end.
It was all
That's
for
right.
the aircraft.
Yeah.
I mean, they carry us.
Yeah.
And I've seen them get hit pretty bad.
Yeah.
See, we were the flagship of the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
New Jersey was.
Yeah.
And it was the most decorated battleship in the United States Navy.
Was it really?
Yeah. See, we were supposed to have the peace treaty signed on the New Jersey.
Yeah.
But Harry Truman was president.
Yeah.
And Harry Truman was from Missouri. And
Oh, there you go.
It had no battle experience. It only had one battle, and that was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Because they replaced us when we went back to States for or general.
You mean there was
overall.
politics in World War II?
Oh, you know what they did with us? They shipped us off to the Philippines.
Did they?
We were nowhere near the signing of the peace treaty.
And that is Subic Bay? Subic Bay in the Philippines?
Yeah,
Or Manila?
Manila. It was all full with sunken ships.
Oh, yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it? Was it? Yeah.
And then they shipped us from there to Japan, Yokosuka Naval Base. We were the only ship there. And I did 4 months occupation
I
duty.
went into Yokosuka.
Yokosuka,
Yeah.
Yokohama, and Tokyo. Those, and of course, when we first were there, we could ride the train to
Right.
Yokosuka or Tokyo. But some of these
They must-
guys went berserk.
Can
They
only-
want a seat, so they throw the Japs off the train.
Yeah.
So that we
That-
had to
but-
go up by landing craft.
Right.
But you had some real guys that,
Well, at that point, they were pretty battle hardened, right? And
oh
they-
yeah,
There was a group, there was a ship called the Boston. It was a cruiser.
yeah,
Right after the atomic bomb, it was either in Hiroshima or Nagasaki that the Boston went in. It was only 2 or 3 weeks after the blast, and we were still trying to convince the Japanese people that there was no radiation. So they took 10 people from the Boston and had them walk the streets of the city as though we're not concerned, we're not worried about radiation at all. One of those 10 was a fellow who ended up a patrolman in Newburyport. I'm desperately trying to remember his name. His widow still lives on Marlborough Street, and she was from Amesbury, and she was
Toomey.
Toomey.
and she was a Woodson girl.
Oh.
You may know her.
Yeah.
Oh, I went with her.
You went with her.
Oh yeah, during high school.
You were brave because Toomey was pretty big.
She graduated with me in '42.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, in '40. She's up to the Clancy house here in Amesbury.
Oh, is she?
Up the last one up on the Fern. Yeah,
Yeah.
to the
I
lake.
knew the Woodsums.
Yes.
Mary Woodsom
Yeah, she was
taught
younger.
at Newburyport
There
High
was
School.
Harriet,
Yeah.
Ruthie,
Yeah.
and then Mary, and I don't know. I forget the other ones, but
I think his name was Mike Toomey.
I think it was as well. And just to wrap that part of the story up, the 10 men were all, of course, exposed to radiation. And most of them died an early death of leukemia, which is a product of radiation.
Is that right?
Mike lived into his 80s.
Yeah.
And you know what he died from? Leukemia.
oh,
Did he
right.
really?
80-something years old. Yeah. Sad
Hmm.
story.
No.
Well,
Kevin.
good that he got 80-something years.
Yeah,
Well, no, he was as big
Yeah.
as a house.
I had one buddy from Newburyport, Dan Sullivan.
Oh.
Called him Handsome Dan. He was a good-looking fella. He graduated in '42 from Newburyport High School.
I think I knew him.
Dan Sullivan.
And
his
his-
father was a permanent firefighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his son was Dan also.
Yeah, he married a girl from, I think, Lawrence, who had a brewery.
I don't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And they lived down the Seabrook.
Yeah.
And he was a great friend of, what the hell's his name now? Well, anyway, don't make him a diss. But, yeah, because back in them days, Amesbury and Newburyport, especially the football teams, were real close.
You mean you were friendly?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a funny thing. They always said Amesbury went to Newburyport to marry their girls, and
I never
Newburyport
heard
guys
that
come
before.
up to Amesbury.
True though.
Yeah.
You did.
I married a Newburyport girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean when I went to Newburyport High, I played basketball, and the games against Amesbury were ferocious, and I wouldn't call them friends.
Well, because
They were
back in my
tough.
days, you only had football, baseball, and basketball. You only
Right.
had the three sports.
Right. Now it's all changed.
Yeah.
There were the games on Friday nights.
Yeah.
You
Newburyport.
couldn't even get in
Yeah. No.
under the lights.
Yeah, I used to go down to them Friday night games.
Oh, that was great. That was
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, what about the medals? Did you get 9? You got 9 medals?
11, right?
11?
11. I got 9 from the United States and 2 from the Philippine government.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I haven't got the medals yet. They have to apply for them. But one on my ribbons, I got stars. And I
Okay.
got 1 big star for 5, and then the small stars for 1 year.
Didn't you say at one point you were on ship for 15 months or something?
25.
But at one, you pulled into a port though, at least, right? No, for 25 months without a port.
No, I was out there 15 months.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we used to pull into a lagoon,
Okay.
and that's where we'd have our rest area.
Yeah.
They'd take us, we'd have to swim ashore.
Well, we're all thankful to you. I'm serious. We
Yeah.
are.
I came
I'm
out.
not speaking Japanese or German, thanks to guys like you.
Yeah, I came out fire controlman 3rd class. I took the exam in 44, and I passed it.
Is that what led you to the fire department here?
No. Had nothing to do with fire. See, I was 16-inch guns.
Okay.
See, that was the FM division. The FA division was a 5-inch, and because each division then had different. But
It's a real expertise.
we had over 4,000 enlisted men on there, and none of those 200 or 300 officers. But the one thing that killed me in the service, they had a black detachment on that ship.
Yeah.
You never saw them. They were segregated. You never saw them out on the deck. You never.
Really?
All they did was take care of the
Yeah.
officers.
See, that mindset would be foreign to you.
It was wrong. It was because I was a northerner anyway, and I would do just the opposite when I was down the south.
Yeah.
I'd get at the back of the bus.
Would you?
Yeah, I wouldn't ride up the front because they know I was a northerner when I pull on that bull. Because I had a friend down there who was in the Army, and I went to visit her one day, and because I had to take the bus, and I get to the back of the bus. I said, "What the hell? I'm no better.
No
than
better.
them."
Yeah, sure.
And Butter Bartlett, he was in the Army, and one part of the base was Japanese Americans.
Oh.
They were in the Army, and they were training because they had their own group.
I bet. Yeah.
And because they did real well over in Europe.
I didn't know the Japanese had a unit.
Oh, yeah, they had.
You hear so much about internment, right?
Yeah, the German. I mean, they were over in Germany and Italy. They really stood out.
Well, how about the Black Airmen? What was the movie?
Yeah, Tahaki. Yeah.
When it was 1946, I guess, and I was raised Catholic, and that meant that a boy would get confirmation, and a young boy of my age, I was 6 or 5 years old, would be his page. And I got assigned a young boy called Kurohara. He was Japanese.
Oh.
And this is 1946. So I'm walking into the Catholic Church, and I'm walking beside this young Japanese boy, and I hear the crowd, Jap beetle. They're making noises and hissing at this kid. I thought I could know it was that until I realized.
No, they said Jap beetle. Yeah.
They called him the Jap beetle. And his family had been interred in the concentration camps. We called them internment centers.
Yeah,
They were concentration camps.
Yeah.
And they were a wonderful family. My parents went on to become friends with them.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. But right after the war, the Japanese were not well liked.
Oh, I know. I know.
Well, you can't blame them in a way, or
no.
how they treated our soldiers and sailors. But I had no grief against them.
But there wasn't the same feeling towards Italians and Germans, right?
Might have been maybe because it was easier to pick them out, you know.
Might have been that.
I think
Might have been. I mean, because the Germans, did they treat the POWs better than the Japanese?
Yes.
Well,
Everybody did.
one thing I'll say about the Germans in the Atlantic Ocean, if they sunk your ship and you were in a life raft, they would give you food, or they would direct you to direction for land.
That's amazing.
But the Japanese, if they got you, they killed you.
Yeah.
They killed everybody. They didn't let anybody go.
Yeah.
But that was the difference between the two of them.
It's a cultural difference for sure.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you know George Duffy?
No,
George was a local fellow. He was on one of the merchant ships that got caught by a raider. He was in the merchant marine, and then the German raider got him, and he got taken prisoner. Like you said, they took him right out of the water and put him on the ship. He got to know the captain of the German ship. They transferred him to a German prison over in Asia, and then they transferred him to a Japanese prison.
oh,
And he wrote a book
Right.
called Something Under the Southern Cross,
Yeah.
describes it. But the thing that's a wonderful story is after the war, he became bosom buddies with the German guys that
I
shot
remember.
his ship down. And they visited for years back and
Yeah. Yeah. I knew George.
forth. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
They
In fact,
interviewed
his daughter was in my wife's class.
him. If you go on YouTube, you'll
Can't
see an
use it.
interview I did with him about 10 years
Oh,
ago.
is that right?
Just like what we're doing here.
Fabulous.
Only I was all dressed in a suit. I looked like Edward R. Murrow.
now what were you in? What branch?
Navy.
Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went in 1965 and went through OCS and then got assigned to an aircraft carrier as a legal officer.
Yeah,
That was after college.
I was after college.
there was
I
five.
mean, I'm assuming Notre Dame's considered college, right?
Notre Dame was considered college back then. Even then, they let me.
I'm jabbing them.
Yeah, there was 5 guys from Amesbury who were on the Bunker Hill when we were out there. And as long as we were out there, New Jersey was out there, the Bunker Hill never got hit. Kamikazes never got her because she rode right beside us.
Okay.
But when we got relieved to go back to the States,
Yeah.
she got whacked.
Oh
They're
boy.
waiting for it.
Yeah, but as long as the New Jersey was with her, we were out there. And I say, when I came back, somebody told me about the Bunker Hill dock down below, and I went down there, and because the Amesbury guys were there, they told me a 500 pound bomb went down the stairway,
Ugh.
but it never exploded.
Gosh.
They were lucky.
500 pounds.
Yeah, Hector Provencher used to be the fire chief here in Amesbury.
I know the name.
Hector Provencher. There was Charlie Moyson. He worked for the post office. And there was a Renard, and there was another guy, I can't think of his name now. But I know when I was out in the Pacific, when we'd go into one of these lagoons, I'd say I had a cousin over there. They'd let me go over and visit them. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, well, listen, we could talk forever, but I should probably show you what I did to your face.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
As they say. So it's a watercolor. It's pretty decent size.
Hang on a second. Before you do that, I want to get a picture. Here we go. Let me get this ready.
And
The grand reveal.
okay. So this is you. I hope you like it.
Oh, yeah.
I've got you as Captain
All right, yeah.
Billy Ryan. I got you Engine 3. I've got your smiling, handsome face. And it's quite a face I've grown to love.
Yeah.
Your coloring, and you know, you look so good for your age. I look older than you, and I'm 73. Isn't he something?
Yeah, that's the old boy.
That's the old boy. Well, it's yours to do with it what you want.
Thank you. Put it right over
We'll
there.
put it right over there, and maybe someone will hang it on a wall or something.
I'll show it to my
Don't make a
children.
dartboard out of it.
No. Oh,
So, what do you think, Helen? Got any other questions you want to ask?
I don't know.
I know the one question
Trying to
that
absorb all this information.
people ask me to ask you and Boots, because you're 100. They said, "How'd you do it?" Because it's no small number, and it's just so impressive. And you're still so healthy. You get around. You're living alone. You're living in your house. I mean, that's inspiring to a lot of us. At 73, going to be 74 in a couple of weeks. It's time to get the
just a baby.
card in the mail.
Just a
Um,
baby.
How much do you want this time?
More than what you gave me last time. So, you got any words of wisdom?
I got nothing.
That works. Yeah, you just did
Well,
what you did, right?
No, I never thought I'd make it, but I always told my wife she'd outlast me, but because she passed away in 16, she had dementia.
Yeah.
She died in a nursing home. She was 3 years in a nursing home. But
Well,
we were married
that's a-
69 years,
That's great.
That's wonderful.
had 5 children,
Yeah.
4 daughters and a son.
Oh man.
I had 4 daughters. After I had 2 daughters in a row, I went to the doctor and I said, "What the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I have a son?" Now, excuse me now.
Oh man, nothing over here.
He said it takes a man to blow the balls off.
Glad we've got that on tape.
The son, the oldest,
That's your wisdom right there.
Yeah,
the son
doc.
in the middle or the youngest? Where is he in the lineup?
Your son, where is
No, my son is number 4.
he? Number
Oh,
4.
there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Dr. Witten was the doctor back.
Dr. Witten,
Witten.
he was my father's doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah. Back in
I remember.
the early 60s.
When they used to come to the house.
Yeah, he came to the house the night he died.
Yeah. See,
60.
he was a doctor
64.
for the fire department because I was
Was he?
on the fire department. And when the food liner went up down there, I fell and I ripped my hand open. And because there was no doctor on duty at the hospital,
Yeah.
there was one on duty at home, and they'd have to call him. And I remember Dr. Wooten come up and sewed my hand up.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember he lived on Point Shore.
yeah, down the point. Sure.
And the night my father died, it was a Friday night, the bridge had been burned or
Yeah,
was
we
out.
had the fire on.
And so he had to go, he went and he had to go up around on 95 to come over. It took him longer. By the time he got there, it was too late, but whatever. It's way
Yeah,
of life.
old Doc Wooten.
So we can't say it's what you eat. We can't say anything. Huh?
Hey, man,
You must have
shit
eaten. You
happens.
must have eaten fairly
Just
healthily.
good, clean living.
Good,
Clean
clean
living.
living.
Yeah,
The luck of the draw, too.
Yeah.
Luck of the
Yeah,
draw.
well,
you
just-
didn't go overboard on exercise either or anything, did you?
my wife and I used to walk mornings. We'd go up to the high school.
It's a decent walk.
There would be a certain group up there every morning,
Yeah.
and we walked the track.
I like that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's something. See, I knew there was some secret you weren't telling me. That's all.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
okay. What do you think, Helen? We'll probably call us to a close. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
It's so
Thank
nice
you.
getting to know you, Bill.
I know. We'll have to go out for beers.
I don't drink beer.
That's right.
Okay.
You told us that.